Welcome to the second AWE Nite Helsinki and our very first attempt at an online meetup. I'm your host, Joe Orengo, and the co-organizer of AWE Nite Helsinki, or as the Finns like to say, Ave Nite, or as I like to say, All Night. And All Night is a meetup under the Augmented World Expo brand and the world's #1 XR event series. This meetup is also the first of its kind in the Nordics, and one of many such meetups around the world from Tokyo to LA. The purpose of All Night Helsinki is to further connect and empower Helsinki's robust XR community. But since we all have to be online these days, we thought we would expand the directive and use the platform to shine a light on the extraordinary people and companies, not only in Helsinki and the rest of Finland, but also in the Nordic and Baltic regions. And that's why we set up a series called Northern Lights, because in XR you can see the Northern Lights in the summertime. And for your information, tonight's meetup will be recorded and will be shared on AWE's Facebook and YouTube channels. Also, if you have any questions in general or for the panelists and other speakers, please post them in the chat and we'll do our best to answer them. So here is the agenda. So as you can see, we have the AWE Online recap. We have spatial news. XR business opportunities in the Nordics will be the panel. Then we'll have some words from one of our sponsors, Grib. And Arilyn will be giving a presentation. Glue will give a live demo. Then we'll have announcements and wrap up. And we'll finish it off with a special mingle in VR for those of you that have signed up, and there's still time to sign up. So please put your email in the chat and the Glue team will send you an email with a short form to fill out and they can send you the installation instructions. Okay. And before we get into the actual program, I'd just like to say thanks to our sponsors for tonight's meetup, Arilyn, Glue, and Grib. We appreciate what you're doing for the community. Thank you very much. Okay, so now I'd like to give a quick recap for AWE Online, for those of you that weren't able to take part. And for those of you that were, there is a poll question about AWE Online, so please check that out. All right, so AWE Online kicked off with AWE co-founder Ori Inbar's welcome address about the future of XR technology in 2030. If you haven't seen the video, check it out. We'll have the link to the website and you can take a look at it when you have a chance. The main idea was that we have all the tools at our disposal right now to create the kind of the version of the future that Ori presents. So while 2020 may be what Ori called the lost year, in many ways it has been quite kind to the XR industry. Of course, we're only halfway there, so let's see what the rest of the year holds. But so far so good, a lot of attention. Other topics that were discussed at the event were, of course, XR in the time of COVID-19, as well as ethics and inclusion in the industry. Significant announcements included Charlie Fink's new book, The XR Directory, the Metaverse Engine for making web-based no-code 3D and XR experiences, the Unity Mars tool for AR developers, the HP Reverb Gen 2 headset, and much more. Tech themes in the event were 5G and edge computing and the AR cloud, amongst other themes as well. As always, the highlight of the AWE event was the Auggie Awards, which honors the best and most exciting XR tech projects, people, and organizations. And I just want to give a special thanks to Lisa Matlin from the marketing manager of Arilyn for letting me adapt her write-up on AWE Online. Check out more of her work at arilyn.com. And now for Spatial News segment by Teemu Ollilainen, the co-founder of XR Nation. Take it away, sir. If I can just get off the stage. Or you can kick me off the stage.
Yes, you can. We talked about having a news section here, and I figured that you guys don't want to see me stumbling about it, so we made a video out of it, so it would be a tad more interesting to watch maybe, rather than me just talking here. So I'm gonna run the video with the news, and go ahead, sit back and enjoy and comment on the chat.
Welcome to Spatial News. This is our very first edition of Spatial News, brought to you by XR Nation. This newscast is first and foremost to those who are attending the Nite Helsinki on the 10th of June. So the date for this is when the news have been gathered is 10th of June 2020. First up in the topics is the Finnish concert that was arranged on the May Day, which is the Labor Day also in Finland. It wasn't the Independence Day as it was broadcasted in some news. So on the Labor Day there was a concert arranged by Finnish XR company called Zone, together with the artist JVG in English. And they had a virtual concert, because of the pandemic virus. They couldn't have the actual concert, so they had a virtual one, like everybody does today. And it was actually quite interesting. We have our special reporter on site, and he will have some more information and maybe some insight regarding that. My face more visible. Let's go to you, Kalle. Yeah, I know. That's how it goes. Oh, hi. As you can see, I was the participant of this nice concert that you were talking about. But maybe some more info regarding that concert is that the concert was held in virtual reality, which means two things. One, it was in virtual reality. Two, it could have been, you could experience it through the browser as well. So, virtual, yes. The other important factor is that it had over 700,000 people watching it live. So that means around 12% of all Finns watched it. So that's quite major. So that was a good thing. So how was it produced? The actual artist sang in front of a green screen, and then it was automatically, or not automatically, I think it involved several persons and nice things. So I think we are gonna watch the behind the scenes reel for this. Wow, that was interesting, right? Thank you, Kalle, for that very interesting report concerning the concert. On the other topics regarding different types of mitigations regarding the pandemic virus, there's also on the medical sector some news regarding how XR technologies are helping surgeons to perform their jobs better and with more accuracy. There's an example of Vantaa-based Adesante that has a product called Surgery Vision that our surgery expert, Mr. Kalle, number 2, will tell you guys a little bit more. Over to you, Kalle 2. Kalle 2, that's I spoke in Finnish. This is an English broadcast. let's do it in English. Kalle 2, go ahead. Thank you, Teemu. Regarding the surgery vision, I don't know if I'm the expert, but thank you for the introduction. I don't really know anything about medicine, but I know that they have been doing some great progress regarding in the news. On the background, there's their product video running through. I don't know what to say about it other than but it looks good and cool. What is the most important or most interesting part of it is that they are combining the technology of XR with artificial intelligence. This is news from March 2020. So combining these technologies is quite key for a new type of tools and services that can actually change the world. That's all from me. I don't know anything else. Back to you, Teemu. Thank you, Kalle, too, for that short but interesting report. On the other news, a Finnish company called Arilyn has been doing a musical in the US called Maybe Happy Ending. Yeah, maybe. I would hope it would be happy, but yeah, let's not go into that. They are doing other musical projects on the Broadway, perhaps in the future as well, but more on those later on. Also, for Arilyn, we have a story regarding digital museum that they have done, and we have actually sent our special reporter to report about that as well. So over to you, Kalle 3. This is number 3, Mr. 3. Kalle, go ahead.
Thank you, Teemu, and welcome to the Museum of Helena Rautavaara here in the virtual reality. As you can see, we are traveling in the virtual reality in the museum. There are pieces on the wall, pieces which is the art pieces on the walls. Yes, this is the virtual version. I am in the virtual reality here. No, or the browser-based version. I'm right here, and the pictures are there. Yes. Yes. Then there is very interesting is when you click on a painting, it opens up with interesting information. I think this is a very nice example of how you can actually visit museums without being there. So this was very interesting tour for me. Thank you, Arilyn, for this. And back to you, Teemu.
Thank you, Kalle 3, for that very interesting tour in the museum. Now to the short topics. We have had also quite a big rise on the virtual meeting front in the XR industry. There are a few quick topics regarding that. First is Finnish company called Glue that has been doing very well in that perspective. They are also demoing in this overnight their new platform. So the news here is that they have released their new platform that has new features and ways to join the meeting. So that will be a very interesting topic later on in the overnight. If you're not attending the overnight and looking at this report from outside of overnight, so please go to glue.work and they will give the information there. Also, in that same front, regarding virtual meetings, our two member companies called Varjo and also Meet in VR have done a deal together where you can actually join a virtual meeting using Varjo technology classes, which are mixed reality classes, and you can have your meetings in mixed reality using Varjo's classes and Meet in VR's technology on the meeting side. That is very exciting news, and the technology looks very good. Also on the update sector, Finnish company called IMTEL have released the latest version of the SDK for doing AR clouds. So they have the city scale Helsinki project underway, well in progress, and they have released the next version of their platform, and that is undergoing very well. So if you want more information about that, go to immersial.com. Last but not least, two information on companies winning awards in the Nordics from our XR Nations member companies. Grib won a Auggie Award just last week, and they won it for best authoring and creation tool, or actually it was the other way around, best creator and authoring tool in the category in all 2020. Then we have our company, which is part of the XR Nation, is also called Flyair, that got shortlisted for 10 AR agencies to follow in 2020. So that's very interesting as well. So please see the link below on that as well. That was all from the news, and we all would like to thank you for listening and hope to see you guys soon again. Thank you. So what was
Very impressive.
Yeah, that was the newscast. So I don't think I have more to add to that. I think it's better for me to kind of shut up for now and let the others take the stage, since that was all I had for the news.
Terrific. Thank you very much for that demo. And I can't wait to see what's in store for the next spatial news.
Yeah, that's interesting for me as well.
Okay, so now it's time for, just give me 1 second, please. It's time for the, oops, excuse me. Okay. The panel discussion on XR business opportunities in the Nordics. And I'd like to welcome our first panelist to the stage, Ksenia Avetisova, the head of Enhanced Reality at Tieto Evry.
Good evening. Hi, this is Ksenia here. Nice to be in this remote meetup, and nice to see all the participants, some familiar names. Hello, Joe.
Hello, welcome. Okay,
Thank you.
I'll go to the next participant, and we can invite her to the stage, Ekaterina Prasolova-Førland, the professor at Norwegian University of Science and Technology and the head of IMTEL, the Innovative Immersive Technologies for Learning Research Group and Lab. You can welcome her to the stage as well.
Hello, everybody. Really nice to be here. I really enjoyed the spatial news, and really looking forward to our discussion today.
Terrific. Thank you very much. And our next participant is Merih Arikkök, AR/VR account manager at MeKiwi. I hope I didn't mess up your last name. I'm going to have a problem today with last names, so just everybody, please bear with me.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Joe, Teemu. Thank you for having me. And you were pretty good with my last name.
Okay, thanks. I think you're being polite, but thank you. Okay, so let me just disable screen sharing here. And before we begin, please take a couple of minutes to introduce yourselves. If you have some kind of promo material or video, this is the time to share it. Let's keep it around 2 minutes if possible. And we can start with Ksenia if you're ready.
Sure. Thanks for giving the space. I tried uploading the file, so let's see how this works. Congratulations to the companies you mentioned, Teemu, about winning the Auggie Awards. We are also proud for the fact that one of the projects that we have submitted this year was in the top five finalists in societal impact part. I'm not sure if you can hear the sound from the video. Yes. I don't know if it's possible to mute it, and if moderators could help with that. No.
No, not that I see.
But if I talk over the Swedish, and the idea here is about the project which our colleagues in Sweden worked on creating the experience for the younger kids, utilizing the augmented reality to learn the traffic safety. And we are quite proud about this project, and we are looking into expanding it in different municipalities in Sweden and also in other countries. So I will pause it because I can share later the links to it, but the whole idea was that I speak over the video and you read sometimes the subtitles,
Yeah.
but the sound is not possible to mute from my controls at least. So the other minute I would like to speak about the Tieto Every. During the end of last year, we have combined our forces, the two large Nordic IT consultancies, and at the same time we have also increased our capabilities in terms of immersive technology and experiences. And we are very much looking into reinventing our capabilities and collaborating across the ecosystem in the Nordics and the Europe. Some of the projects we have worked on previously include Virtual Forest, which we have done together with Metsä and Control Reality and University of Helsinki. It's the data-driven project which continues running and is available for over 100,000 Finnish forest owners who can dive into virtual reality and manage their assets, forest assets, and review the operations. There are multiple different projects which we have done with partners across Nordics for the customers. And the key thing that we're always concentrating on is the user value and user benefit, be it in B2B or B2C sector. Mostly we have been working in B2B. So during the panel, I'm happy to open up a little bit more about it and also note the opportunities that we see in the current situation and share those with you. Thank you.
Terrific. Thank you so much. Ekaterina, your turn, please.
Thank you. As Joe said, I am leading the Innovative Immersive Technologies for Learning Research Group and Lab at the Norwegian University of Science and Technology. And here in the chat, I'm posting a link to our webpage. And from that, again, you can access our Facebook page, which is very active. And please like it, look at the images, follow the news. It's a very unique lab in Norway, and I would say in Europe as well. It has top modern equipment. And we do research on educational XR. We are developing XR applications for learning and training with different stakeholders for a wide variety of target groups, everything from neurosurgeons to K-12 university students and to unemployed, and in subjects such as mathematics, language learning, climate change, history, etc. If you go to our webpage and the Facebook page, you can see some screenshots and examples of our apps we're developing. And apart from developing it, we are also performing research on the methodology behind the development of such applications. We evaluate the apps with teachers, students, adult learners, because it's really important to create methodologies for development of XR experiences, especially for learning and training. And we collaborate very tightly with local industry. I am on the board of XR Norway, which is a network consisting of both academic institutions such as our university and also XR companies, and our goal is to support each other to make Norwegian companies more competitive in the global market, and also to exchange experiences, do research together, etc. We at our lab receive, at least we used to receive before the pandemic, lots of delegations and visitors who wanted to learn about how XR can be used for learning and training. And tomorrow we are going to get our first visit after the pandemic, and we are really excited of how it's going to go. We have to think about social distancing, of course, about different disinfection instruments for the headsets. And this is something that we also have to do research on, how to provide safe experiences for visitors, for learners in the situation we are in. I'm going to show a short video showcasing one of our most important projects at the moment, and it's getting even more important in the COVID-19 context. Since both in Norway and Finland and everywhere, lots of people lost their jobs because of the pandemic. And in this project, we are providing VR experiences, especially to young unemployed, where they can try out different workplaces in a safe and remote manner, and try out different typical tasks at these workplaces, and also see if it's something that is suitable for them and make informed career decisions. We're also developing different courses on XR for learning and XR technologies for remote collaboration, especially the later course is the one targeted at unemployed, and we got special funding for that from the Norwegian government. So now I'm going to start the video. This is something that we got. We went to the finals to the Auggie Awards in 2018.
Ekaterina, if you can just show like a small portion of that, please.
Yes, I'll try. So this actually we are there are different apps represented in different workplaces. This first one is fishery and aquaculture. I'm just going to jump quickly through the video. So here you see the fish processing factory, and you can try out different tasks in VR and get feedback. So this is electrician at a windmill, jumping quickly through. And this is a construction place. And like car mechanics. Okay, so I just jump quickly through. We have in addition created applications for a tinsmith and the crane. And for the car mechanics, we also have additional modules with a language layer for immigrant job seekers. And also we have a collaborative version for that allows job seekers to access these remotely, even with desktop models, and also together with other job seekers and a career counsel. So they can meet remotely and get some career advice there. So this is one of the examples of our projects. For others, please look at our website. And also, I'm also a part of a Women in Immersive Tech initiative that I can mention later during the discussion.
Thank you so much. Okay, Merih?
Yeah, so hi everyone, and thank you again for having me. I'm Merih Arikkök. I work with MeKiwi. We are a full-scope digital office from Oulu, Finland. So what do I mean by full scope? So let me expand on that a bit. Here at MeKiwi, we develop custom augmented reality and virtual reality software for businesses, right according to their needs. So it is exactly produced how they want it, or in what shape they want and need it. So we take care of their specific needs. So we have an expert team of developers, marketing professionals, user interface and user experience experts, designers, as well as account managers. It's not only me, of course, I'm just one of the account managers of MeKiwi, and they all treat customers' needs as if their own, which ensures the client gets the most useful outcome for their business. Because the most important thing in VR, I think, if you can benefit from it, if it if it adds value to your work. So examples of what we do are, for example, XR education, business websites. We also do those. Mobile applications for Android and iOS, augmented reality solutions for small and medium-sized businesses. VR training software, like porting of apps, like game porting between platforms, as well as game marketing. So developed 2 VR games so far, like for our own, to be marketed in which are widely available. We have Art Pulse and Cave Digger. Cave Digger is a really fun game, which is like a virtual mining game. You mine minerals in the Wild West, and I really recommend it. And it is available in Europe and North America, and we are launching it in PlayStation VR Japan on 16th of June. So it is going to be like almost worldwide available. As MeKiwi, we are also strategic partners with Oculus, and we develop for Oculus Quest, PlayStation VR, Oculus Rift, Steam, HTC Vive Port, and Pico Neo 2, which is really popular in China, and also Windows Mixed Reality. And we see ourselves more of a like solution partner to support other businesses with technology. So I suppose like most of the folks who attend this webinar right now, they are also in the XR business somehow, but we are not targeting direct consumers. So if you think we can help you in a project, feel free to contact us through the website. By the way, almost forgot, I assume most of the people attending here, they work from home remotely, since we have not really started moving to the offices. So if you have a headset at home or in your disposal, just drop me an email or message through LinkedIn or wherever you want, so I can give you a code for you to download Cave Digger and play it for free. I'm just gonna write my contact details in chat, so you can just drop me a line, and I'm gonna reply back you with a voucher code for free.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Merih.
Thank you.
Okay, so sorry about that. Teemu, please invite Merih back to the stage again. Okay, so let's, yeah. The first time was on purpose, though. The second time was by mistake. Okay, so let's get into the meat of the disc. Let's just jump right into it, and let's address the elephant in the room. The first question: how do you see the B2B and B2C XR landscapes currently in this time of COVID-19? And please, let's keep it to a few minutes, but brutally honest, and bring up the challenges that your particular organization is facing today. Senya, if you would, please.
With pleasure. There are actually quite a few challenges that are worth mentioning. And since March, when the whole situation at least started here in Finland for us, and then some colleagues in different countries a little bit around the same time, we have noticed that the majority of our big customers, they became quite rigid with the budgets that they allocate for innovation projects. And of course, it's understandable due to the high degree of uncertainty, like many initiatives are either paused or postponed, and the whole situation is re-evaluated. So for example, some projects that we were setting up during the previous year to start at the end of springtime, they have been postponed now for decision making, for example, in the beginning of autumn. And the other challenge I'd like to mention is that this situation, of course, provides a lot of opportunities for XR and immersive experiences in terms of remote collaboration and work. But what we have noticed also is that the leadership of many of our customers, they are very considerate and very cautious in introducing any type of new workflows into already challenging situation for much of part of the workforce. Potentially what we learned also for some consultants and more kind of vibrant, so to say, roles which are on the way anyways and might work from different places even during the normal times. many roles who in, for example, in accounting or planning, etc., they had their dedicated workplace, which now they have to reinvent. And bringing yet another new dimension to some of those roles is not high on the agenda for the leadership. Even in those roles where we would see quite a clear benefit of utilizing the virtual reality in some common collaboration in projects, it doesn't happen so fast. And that leads to another maybe challenge worth highlighting, that the funding opportunities have now been shifted in the different different direction. We have seen maybe the rise for the need of remote assistance and collaboration and streamlining those type of projects. However, we, from the kind of corporate perspective and the customers, we noticed that, yeah, as mentioned in the beginning, all types of other innovation type of perspectives and projects have been somewhat postponed or paused. So we are really hoping that closer to summer vacation or shortly after, it will pick up again, because it would be a little bit more clear about the effect that this pandemic had on the business and operations of our customers globally. That's shortly. Joe, you're muted.
So many buttons, so little fingers. Ekaterina, if you could please take the stage, so to speak.
Thank you. It's obvious that we at educational institutions and public sector has not been as affected by the pandemic as in the industry. See and hear from our partners what is happening. On our side, we got some additional funds from for research on using remote technologies such as XR in education. We are starting with a new project in the autumn on both doing education in XR and also public events like innovation days. We used to do it at our lab live. Now we'll try to do it more in a hybrid format. And we also got yet unofficially, but most probably it's going to be okay, the grant for making courses on XR and remote collaboration for unemployed. And I see also there are some funding opportunities, at least in Norway, popping up here and there. If you're really fast, if you can just go and apply, then you can get some opportunities. But of course, I have learned from my colleagues and partners in the industry that they also experience some challenges with funding with customers, like what Xenia mentioned. But in this context, would be very useful for us, especially as researchers, but also as developers, to do research on remote collaboration technology. How is it possible to make it more user friendly, and how motivate companies and public sector to adopt these technologies for more widespread use, because obviously we all know that these technologies are great, but they have some bottlenecks that maybe not everybody is willing to address at the moment. I've been to a lot of conferences and gatherings in VR, in online VR, such as Mozilla Hubs, Allspace VR. Just today I was in Engage, and I moved my course to Mozilla Hubs after the lockdown. And one of the major lessons learned from that is it's really important to be inclusive. Not everybody sitting with headsets at home. So if you're developing a platform, collaborative XR platform, it's really important to have a desktop solution so that people who don't have to headsets at home or in offices are also able to join. Because also in desktop version, online VR has a lot to offer that is not offered by tools like Zoom, etc. But then we really need to do a research, systematic research. We need to evaluate these experiences. We need to develop best practices in collaboration between academic institutions and public sector and industry.
Thank you. Okay, and let's invite Merih to the front, please.
Promise you won't kick me off the stage again.
Sorry about that. But 3 times the charm, right? Go for it.
Yeah, I agree. So I believe like business to business and business to consumers are completely different in general, and it's the same in extended reality as well. So while at MeKiwi we are not focused on like direct consumer business, but we understand the consumer market dynamics are much more complicated compared to B2B, because like you need to play really like individual in business to consumer. So businesses are the main players in pushing the AR, VR, or XR, or any other technology to consumer market. And I believe that with the of the 5G in several countries, which will speed up the flow of data significantly, and telecom operators pushing VR headsets to consumers and mixed reality glasses to the consumers, the need for the XR services will increase faster and faster. So this is what I expect to see. And you know, it is also rumored that Apple is to release Apple Glass like maybe in 2021, if there won't be any more delays. So we also all know that like how fast Apple consumers, Apple users adapt whatever Apple releases. So if they are to release it, then I think it's gonna become like widespread adopted and people are gonna use it. And also that will help us as well. The need for AR experiences, VR experiences, mixed reality, it's gonna skyrocket. At least this is what I hope for, and this is what I'm following. Also in Europe, I think Deutsche Telekom is also partnering up with Unreal, and in Japan, KDDI, another telecoms operator, has partnered up with Unreal to produce AR for consumers, and the markets there are huge, you know. And in general, I believe customers are looking for short experiences, like half an hour, because they also want to be connected, still be connected to the real world while gathering around in virtual reality. So they would want experiences that add value to their lives, where they still feel connected. And I would say for the consumer market, you keep the experience to, let's say, half an hour. On the business side, which is our market, the challenge is always educating the customer first, since like AR and VR is still, the awareness is still not there yet where we want it to be. So often we need to explain the customers how it works and how the project is going to look like and how they can benefit from it, because lots of companies like small to medium-sized businesses approach us saying that, okay, they would like to use AR, but they do not know like what exactly they have in their mind. They have seen it, they have heard about it, and especially now where we do a lot of things remote, they want to use it, benefit from it, but you still need to educate the customer. You need to show customer what's out there. Often like you need to take the VR headset to the customer and just put it on and say like, hey, there's this and that. Then they are like, okay, this is awesome. And about the challenges, like, let me be frank, we have seen an increase in the number of business inquiries we have been receiving in 2020, because it's mainly from the businesses who seek ways to keep their clients engaged, because they don't want to be forgotten in the times that they are not around. Like if you're a restaurant, people don't come to you. Maximum they do is like order from the internet to home. So in order to keep that engagement level and in order to remind their customers and the potential ones that they are there and they are offering this, they are looking for options in AR and VR, especially AR. I think it is really increasing in terms of marketing use. And what opportunities out there? Basically, also it's part.
We can talk opportunities in the next.
Yeah, let's continue.
Next question. But thank you. So quickly, you haven't really seen, as being a startup, you haven't really seen so many challenges. It actually seems more like kind of business as usual, having to educate the customer and these kind of things, but not really, like for example, with your games or these things. Have there been any challenges on that front with like Cave Digger?
Yeah, actually, I'm happy to say that like business is better than before, because like people, staying home or people feeling the need to be connected, and businesses seeking ways to keep their clientele engaged. These all, I think, are the driving pillars of a technology company. You cannot expect otherwise if you're a technology company and you say that, okay, the business is bad at the times of technology is needed most. Like maybe it's an irrelevant example, but if you check the United States or the globe in general, the most profiting companies are now technology companies like Amazon, Zoom, even Microsoft. So you need to be doing well if you're a technology company.
Great, thank you so much. So now I can ask, for example, now that I really appreciate your honesty, and I would just like to know now, we've heard the challenges from the different the corporate and the academic, the startup worlds. Obviously different kinds of challenges, and somewhat more almost like leading to opportunities, and that's what I would like to focus on now for a few minutes. What kind of opportunities are actually available now? We see that yes, obviously things are quite rough for a lot of folks, but there's also a lot of doors opening up. So Ekaterina, if you could share a few of the opportunities that are available for your organizations, for example.
Thank you. Well, I have already mentioned that European Commission and national governments have released some COVID-19 calls that with very short deadlines that you can apply if you are fast enough, that addresses different challenges, and the one that is relevant for us, our community, is how to use technology to overcome the restriction that is imposed by the pandemic. So it's really worthwhile to look at all those funding opportunities, but also maybe reach out to customers and colleagues and see what are the needs they need to cover. So obvious one is remote collaboration, remote teaching. For many universities, the autumn semester will be half digital, hybrid. That's something we have to prepare for, and for many organizations the situation will be the same. So we have to think, can we provide some rich interactive collaborative technologies that allows you not just staring into the Zoom and sharing PowerPoint files, but really doing something interactive, going places. A lot of lab work, field trips, field activity is being postponed due to the pandemic. So we are already now thinking of research projects, of, for example, making digital twin of a lab that you can work in remotely in VR. We already have been developed field trips for geography students in VR, and we are going to continue with that. We have sent a proposal to our local agency. We have sent another proposal to Nordforsk. It's a Nordic body that gives to Nordic research collaborations on giving citizens access to decision making, again in remote fashion, so that citizens can more easily travel virtually and be there and collaborate with decision makers on how the face of the city should be formed in the future. And there are many other projects where you can look at the needs that have been enhanced or new needs that have arisen, and try to use the technology to support those needs. So we also got a lot of inquiries from our colleagues that want to work with these innovative technologies to overcome these challenges. There are many possibilities if you are looking for that, but of course, as I said, you need to find new ways to make those hybrid solutions. For example, if people want to see the potentials in XR technologies, for example, customers, often they need to see what it is about. They need to try on a VR headset or AR headset. And then you have really to devise new procedures for hygiene, for keeping social distances, and so on. So we have we are trying to implement a 5-fold solution to that. It's 1 meter distance for during visits. It's disinfection with alcohol. It's disinfection with UVC radiation. It's disposable inlays, and it's partial quarantining of the headsets. So we really have to be inventive here.
Yeah, I think that what it sounds like that there's a great opportunity to collaborate with universities, because they need to go online. They're looking for, and basically to work with them. There's funding out there for that, and to develop a new paradigm, basically for how people are going to collaborate online in virtual reality. I think that's really terrific.
In addition, there are some funding schemes where governments or European Commission pays universities to do research for companies. So you can hire universities to work for you and get money for that from different funding institutions. There are these schemes if you look well for them.
Will people be able to contact you so you can give them a little bit of a heads up on those schemes? Would that be okay?
Sure.
Terrific. Thank you so much. Okay, Senya, if you could please take the stage and kind of share some of the opportunities that you see available.
Indeed, Ekaterina had painted a very good picture about the opportunities in terms of training, with the video in the beginning that she showed is an amazing project. So training the new skills, especially when the travel is restricted, some of it can be done in the virtual reality, and being prepared for the actual work that the workers need to do when they get hired. But that leads to another interesting area that we have identified. How do companies and employers actually brand and position themselves in terms of when the limit, there might be limits on international travel or even travel to the locations themselves. In Tietoevry here in Finland, we are not yet back to the office, and probably it's going to take still a while. So the access to the location itself is pretty much restricted. And we have been quite lucky that during the past years, we have already created the virtual onboarding experience that, for example, our interns who are joining for this summer, who have already aligned their internships in February before this whole thing happened, they can take a virtual tour in a few different facilities in a few different countries and get a sense of what it feels like working in the space and who are some of the people. And that's also allowing the companies to start thinking, how do they showcase themselves and their culture in the virtual space for the future hiring possibilities as well. Additionally to that, there is also quite a lot of focus has been already previously and now even more about the wellness and the work-life balance. How can we, there is one research project, and what Ekaterina has mentioned is actually a vehicle that we have been using lately. We have the Business Finland funded project where we participate in the ecosystem of Finnish companies, where we take a look in stress level management in the work-related environments. And the part of the program where XR Lab is participating is looking into immersive technology in order to mitigate stress or keep the stress levels of the employees at bay. And our original thinking before March was that we're going to utilize the virtual reality environments and use the EEG reading devices to understand how the body is reacting, and vice versa, allow the body to become a sensor for illustrating or making different variations of the environments. But we had to switch this, and we had to very flexibly now start working with the AR experiences and the sensors that we can have already in the mobile devices, such as facial recognition, etc. So very interesting also from the perspective how we can translate the virtual reality to augmented reality to mixed reality, and how they all align in order to create the experience for the end users. And maybe, well, I can go on, but one last point or two last points to mention about industrial perspective, that a lot of our customers, they have distributed production sites globally, and they have now been facing the situation that their professionals are not able to travel from one site to another. So as mentioned, the increased demand for remote assistance and remote collaboration has been there. But in addition to that, also XR to some extent, as the real-time contextual data visualization, is serving as a connection or connecting tissue between the different systems which are at play, different cultural, geographical dimensions, and also being able to share the experience in a much better way. And that's another dimension is the telepresence. With the rise of technology, what was mentioned about 5G view, that soon we might be able to have all the benefits of the low latency. Here also we might be able to mitigate a lot of risks connected to a dangerous type of work, be it far away in the forest or be it with hot environments, if we can teleoperate conveniently the equipment in industrial scenarios. So those are some of the areas of opportunity that currently I'd like to highlight. Unmute.
It takes like 3 clicks to unmute that thing. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Senya. Unfortunately, we're getting really, actually, we're at the time limit. But I would like to ask quickly if you could give one practical piece of advice for how to locate these opportunities for our viewers. So we can start with Merih first, please. Just one, please. Yeah, the best one.
Okay. Can be in a couple of sentences because it can't go that way. Anyway, I would suggest in order to find out opportunities, you always simulate how your offer fits into a business's needs. So who can benefit? You identify the business, and then you simulate benefit by using my software. Like, are they gonna cut the costs? Are they gonna drive more sales? Or are they going to save some time? So every time you see a company, if you do this simulation, you are going to find the use, and you'll be able to explain it to the other side, and they will see the value, and then you do something there. That's it.
Terrific. Thank you, sir. Wonderful. Okay, Ekaterina, if you would, please.
My advice is to be open-minded and cross-disciplinary. So you never know where opportunities arise. So, for example, I know people from the fisheries industry who show great interest for XR. You can find kind of maybe the most not the obvious customer that you normally cater to, that in this new situation might need your services. But at the same time, look at those industries who suffered the biggest job loss, such as service providers, hospitality, travel. They really need new solutions at the moment, and maybe they don't have a lot of money, but there are some government-funded schemes to help those affected companies out from the crisis. So if you join forces with them and with the governments, then you might really want to be one of the pioneers who transform those fields and open completely new solutions to their challenges.
Terrific. Thank you so much. Excellent. And Senya, if you would please.
The key suggestion that I would have is we are so passionate about XR. I suspect that this kind of runs really deep in our blood, but it's worth taking a bigger picture. So understanding the bigger picture and taking a look from like few steps further out. So I would suggest that really consider how the XR experiences of the services you are building are connected with the other ecosystem of the services that, for example, the customer or your company are providing to the users, but also consider how XR can be connected to other technologies such as artificial intelligence, blockchain, etc. So there are some great examples already about starting to think about those areas, but I think there can never be too much. And the very important part, I would suggest that simplify the user experience in order to lower the threshold, so there is not much training needed to start using the experiences that are being created, and it's very easy to jump into it and understand intuitively what needs to be done and what is happening around.
Thank you so much. I just want to thank you for the great advice, and thank you for taking your time to be on this panel. Unfortunately, we ran a little bit over time, but once again, if the audience gave a round of applause virtually, that'd be great. Thank you so much. And unfortunately, I'm gonna have to kick you off the stage at this moment so we can invite.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
We'll share the contact details. Bye.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Bye.
Okay, so our next, we have some words from one of our sponsors, Miikka Miettinen, and I'm not going to enable my screen sharing. You're just going to invite the man up, and he's the COO of Grib. So if you would take the stage, sir. I see you're walking up the stairs.
Hello.
There he is.
Can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
Great. Super nice to see everybody here. That was a great panel. And being able to talk right after it, it feels like I can actually pitch into a lot of the things that you guys were saying there. So Miikka from Grib 3D, I didn't see the original news video, so I don't know how much info you got out of me or out of our company, but we are hoping and trying to be at the very cusp of these issues that that everybody at the XR industry are facing, and we want to be at the very lowest possible level at democratizing XR experiences by creating an XR tool for first 3D design and 3D creation using a mobile device, so that you don't have to have a headset or all these tools, but something that is like 80% of, for instance, the Nordic population has, that would be enough of technology. So using a phone, creating XR directly or AR indirectly, and be so easy and simple to use that you don't need to be taught, and democratize the whole industry that way, so that can work as a gateway to other XR experiences. And I think that the whole XR industry needs more initiatives like this to make it easier for people to find the value and enter into this world that for a lot of people, especially the older generation, can be very, very bizarre and kind of frightening even maybe sometimes. Regarding the live collaboration and COVID things, we had already in mind as well earlier on that we're going to want to have a live collaboration in our software as well. So you can create 3D objects with 2 or more devices in different locations live. But COVID kind of surprised us. We didn't know that it's going to happen so soon. So we kind of ran into it a little bit ahead of time. And now we're testing actually together with University of Cambridge in schools to teach kids 3D design and collaboration live through remote access and teaching them these vital new technologies. And like Ekaterina was mentioning about inclusion, we've also incorporated now a web view or a web app application so that you can join and view a team that is creating something. Even if you don't have a mobile device, you can still view live what they're creating. So these kinds of cool things and updates we're working on at Grib 3D. If you're a non-user or non-creator currently in XR, or even if you are a creator, feel free to check out our software. And I just punched the link to our website, and you can also send me an email about trying out. You can try an earlier version of Grib 3D already. It's available in the stores. And like I said, we're providing this especially for a new audience that isn't familiar with 3D creations, schools, or people who are interested but haven't gotten into the traditional style of 3D creations. But also now we're looking at new industries because of COVID. So we're working in the gaming industry, how to facilitate making asset creation in the gaming industry faster and easier than before, etc. So if that is at all interesting for you, let me know, and I'd be happy to initiate talks with you on how Grib 3D could be helpful for you, or your advice could be helpful for us. And I don't want to take more of the time since we're already behind schedule. Thank you very much, and good to see everybody here.
Thank you so much, Miikka, for sharing, and thank you as well for the sponsorship. And now for our presentation and demo portion of All Nite Helsinki, we'd like to invite up Emmi Jouslehto, CEO of Arilyn, one of the hottest startups in Finland. And I'm sorry if I butchered your name. I actually practiced this too. Let's see if I can just show up.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me good?
Yes.
That's perfect.
Oh,
okay.
Sorry. Let me just maximize the screen and I will get off stage.
Okay. So thank you, and really great to be here tonight. And it looks like we have a lot of people online, so it makes it even greater, even better. Yes, I'm Emmi. I'm from Arilyn. I'm the CEO and one of the 3 co-founders. We've been doing AR in Arilyn for the past, it's almost 7 years now. So we are one of the pioneers, even thinking globally. Today Arilyn is 21 people working directly in the team, and then few very important like extended members of the family, freelancers and so on. Slides, let me see if I can just get them nicely shared. And hope you're seeing the screen now correctly. So in Arilyn, we are specialized on emotionally engaging AR experiences. I know that there is not a single AR company or XR company in the world probably that is saying that they are not creating emotionally engaging experiences, but this is kind of like our value proposition to our customers. So whatever we do, we go with emotion first. We want it to leave a memory mark to the users. So it's something special that they got out of it, and that there is a reason to go back on that. And we are first-handed, we are a technology company. So we have our own Arilyn platform, Arilyn technology, which includes tools to, it's kind of like a content management system for AR. So you can create your AR campaigns and publish it to the free Arilyn app, which you can get from the App Store or Google Play. But we also have now included tools for the web AR. But we realized some time ago that even though the tech is where our heart is, there is still a limited number or percentage of potential customers who have the resources to do AR themselves. But there is much more companies out there who are very interested of having AR as part of their services to their customers, but who would be more willing to just like buy ready services. So that's why we also have our own production team, and we create campaigns. And there are a few customers that we have been working with. So we work with some small customers, bigger customers, Finnish customers, and then international customers. And the reason why we feel that AR is very strong at the moment is that people are really longing for experiences. We live in the experience economy at the moment, and AR is just perfect for that. It's engaging media, which you all know who are here online. So there are some numbers like that. When you have interactive augmented reality experiences, people spend much more time than with basically other social media channels. They return about 10 to 20 times to the experience, and then the code to react, to purchase something, to order something, even if it's just a newsletter, is quite high. So let's see, there is supposed to be a video in the background playing about our system, but apparently there is something up in our system, so in my network, so let's skip that. It's always about this, how the tech will work, or will it not? So let's have a moment to look. So that's Arilyn Manager, content management system, and that's the Arilyn app where you can publish, or you can publish to the web AR. We work a lot with museums, with artists and other sectors of entertainment. And then naturally also with consumer brands, connected packaging. We like to work with agencies. That's actually a very important source of revenue for us. And now, just a few short glimpses what we have done. This is Ozzy. So he had his vinyl LP collection where he was actually kind of showing up as an AR artist. And this is something that our latest work that we have done with Arla. Arla is a Finnish dairy company, and they've been working with us for several years now, and now they have this very innovative new packaging which has absolutely no plastic in it. And they have this AR game where you can learn about recycling, and then it's a farming game. It also challenges children to do good missions every day.
To unlock treasures. A recycling buddy always recycles. Now it's time for your first mission. Then you can unlock a treasure chest with a fun surprise. Go and turn off all the unnecessary rights, and then come back and collect your reward. You can get today's reward when the race is over. Good luck!
So there are challenges to children to fix their broken toys, to create something new out of garbage, basically, and so on.
Recycled milk cartons into craft materials and increase the lifespan of a toy by fixing it. Recycling can be so much fun. To try the Recycling Buddies game out, download the free Arilyn AR app. Together we can achieve more.
Okay, so that's basically some of the examples of what we have done, and I would say I really loved the panel that there was about doing business in AR. Of course, that's one of the things that I've been deeply into for the past few years, and I think that kind of like networking, getting connected, partnering up with different operators in this field is just hugely important, just in order to gain more customerships and so on. Oh, there's some questions. So basically, yes, we have our internal development team. So basically, we create these games out by ourselves. So we don't use subcontractors for the game making, but we do use subcontractors for the content creation. So for example, here in this Arla case, those characters out there, they have been created by Pinjata. So it's a Finnish design agency. So we do have subcontractors, partners in the campaigns. So we don't do everything by ourselves. We are only 21 people, but we have a lot of kind of like a good network of different operators. But for the game development, or so to say, we are not a gaming company, so it's kind of like gamified AR experiences. Those we have developed ourselves. Okay, but maybe that's about it. About Arilyn, you can always go to arilyn.com to get more information and see more cases. We also have, if you go to Vimeo, vimeo.com/Arilyn, a lot of stuff there. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Emmi. Always impressed by the experiences that Arilyn creates.
Thank you.
Okay, and so I'll usher you off the stage. Thank you for taking part, and thank you for your sponsorship as well.
Well, thank you for having me here.
And now I'd like to invite the Glue team to the front, please. And I'll see if I can enable my screen sharing just to show the slide. Maybe that won't even, but let's try it anyway. We can show the glue team right there. Kalle, Kimmo, Jani, and Matti. And they will be sharing shortly once the gentlemen get to the stage. And Glue is one of the front runners in this remote collaboration race that we have, and you're going to get to see what it looks like within the platform. Okay, so maybe I can remove that stream.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can.
Great. Thank you for having us, and I'm going to share a live view to the Glue straight away and give it away to Kalle if I just can find the screen. Okay, here we have it. Okay, and this is live stream straight away in Glue. There's Kalle, Jani, and Matti. I hope the audio is working for you.
Introducing the next generation of Glue, a virtual extension of your workplace where dispersed, high-performance teams come together to learn, share, plan, and create. In Glue, you enter three-dimensional, customizable virtual spaces, equipped with a variety of co-creation tools. Interact with teammates as if you were face-to-face in the same physical space, or work asymmetrically whenever it suits you. Everything's optimized for effective remote collaboration, enabling you to overcome the limitations of video conferencing and realize your team's true potential. With the latest release of Glue comes a new user interface, as well as a host of new features and enhancements, all adding up to the most complete environment for virtual collaboration. Get in touch today and start your free trial.
All right, guys. Change of identity. So Kalle is now
Okay.
as Kimmo showing. So yeah, it appears that there's an audio card issue with the computer that I was trying to use, because when I was invited to the stage, it simply doesn't allow to me share any audio to the AV night. But yeah, we're good to go. So the thing that I tried to explain earlier without you hearing anything. So Glue is a universal collaboration platform, which basically means that we allow teams work remotely in a way that they can that they would be in a shared virtual space, which basically allows teams to work in a manner as usually has been only reserved for face-to-face meetings. So here you see Kimmo, Jani and Matti collaborating in a shared virtual space, although they are located in different physical locations. So Kimmo is at our head office in Kruunuhaka, Helsinki, whereas Jani and Matti are located at their homes in different places in Helsinki. They can collaborate by having 3D objects in the virtual space, drawing to the whiteboard, having a look at the presentations. We have a camera tool as well. It seems that Matti has taken a picture in the environment of Jani, annotating on the rocket. So the main idea of kind of how the whole mission of the company has been to reduce the need of business travel of business executives. Obviously, that has been happening quite nicely during the beginning of 2020, although the COVID-19 obviously it's not a good thing on any kind of category. So Glue can be used for event organization as well. So we can have basically an unlimited number of these virtual environments, which have a completely spatial audio, so we can use these environments for events instead of using webinars that are based on two-dimensional screens. So we can actually have people in a shared virtual space getting the three-dimensional experience as they would in a real life meeting. And as Jo mentioned in the chat section, it is a possibility to jump in our special Mingle in VR section right after the AVE. So I can share the link to the chat box again. You can fill the form and get an access to Glue and actually meet us in Glue and try the different features that we have by yourself. We support all major VR headsets, including the Oculus Quest, all VMR headsets, and also the desktop computer that was highlighted in the earlier presentations. So you don't need to have an VR headset in order to access Glue. Obviously, the VR is the most immersive experience because your full sight and all the audio is fully immersed into the environment. But with the desktop computer as well, you get the spatial audio and you get a quite nice experience as well. And here you can see that Jani shared a presentation to the screen. So basically, although it's an virtual environment, we can also have two-dimensional presentations shared into the screen and look at those as we would in a real life environment. So, and if there's any questions, I try to be really brief, as there were some technical issues right in the beginning. So if there's any questions, please post them to the chat. I'll put my contact details to the chat as well. And as mentioned, after the AVE, we have the special mingle in VR where you can request an access and try and experience Glue yourself. So thank you from our end.
Thank you very much, Kalle and Team Glue.
Just to answer Teemu's question, yes, Jani just put a VR headset into his head in VR, so that's double the VR.
That's it.
Yep, that's always a funny joke that we do when people are trialing Glue.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, and I will be seeing you soon in VR. And thank you very much for also being a sponsor of this very first online meetup for AWE Nite Helsinki.
Thank you.
Okay, so, all right, so we're just a little bit over time, and the sun is just attacking my face at the angle that I'm sitting right now. So let's see if we can move over a little bit. Yes, thank you, Miikka. Big round of applause for Arilyn and Glue for our demos and presentations. Of course, we're trying this new webinar thing out, and this is how it goes. This stuff happened in the first All Nite Helsinki as well, and we were live. So let's just quickly go to the announcements. Yes. So we have two announcements. The next All Nite Helsinki will be in September. So I know you're going to be itching your veins waiting for the next spatial news and all the cool demos and the other goodies that we have. But September is the time. Most likely it'll be online as well, and we'll get the wrinkles ironed out as best as possible. And let's see. And yes, we also have a very special gift for attendees from the sponsors. So check your emails because you'll be receiving that in the week to come. And I think that is all for the announcements. Yes, one last thing. We do have 2 poll questions that I want to publish at the moment. So if you can please take some time to answer them. You can choose many options. Doesn't take too long, just 2 quick ones. What would you like to see more of at All Nite Helsinki, and what would you like to see less of at All Nite Helsinki? And last but not least, I just want to thank, once again, I want to thank the sponsors, Arilyn, Glue, and Grib. And I want to thank all of you who attended this fine, it's beautiful outside over here in Helsinki. So thank you for taking time to take part in this meetup. And I also want to thank all the panelists and speakers who took part as well. I want to wish you all a great summer, and we'll see you in September. And if you're taking part in the mingle, I'll see you in VR as well. Thank you so much.